Whoa! Let's get this party started. Let's make sure we're rocking and rolling. Oh. You get why I said happy birthday? Get that, everybody? That's from what's that guy's name? The snowman Frosty. Frosty the snowman. Happy birthday! Remember that? That's from the old days. Hey, thanks, Timothy. Timothy Deck says he just showed his better half my videos on Social Security and taxes. Yeah, man, very informative. Much better job than me explaining it. Thanks, man. We got Denise from California, DeRochi, big A's here. Timothy, we got Pulverizer, Maynard and Tejas, Gordon. All right, good. Averill Park, New York, outside of Albany. It's Judge Small says, well, we're waiting. And Marie, hey, Marie. Que paso? What's going on in the PA? Well, that's my thing on Rumble. Never starting. I don't get it. I did the freaking thing. It just takes. Hang on a second. Make sure we're on Rumble. We're supposed to be. We'll see if it ever kicks. There we go. All right. Thank you, Rumble. All right. Chicken Charlie, Denise from North Carolina, DJL from Canada in the house. Raise my glass. Jill is in the house. All right. From Indiana. Now raise my glass. Thurman from Haskell, Oklahoma, wherever the hell that is. All right. Happy birthday! In PA, it's 45. Henderson, Nevada, it's probably 22 below zero. Dougie Ackerman Fresh. Mark Keller, James, everybody, right on. Happy New Year, man. So I took Liam yesterday to go see. We drove to Charlotte. Just got back a couple hours ago to see the Nets were in town to play, or in town in Charlotte to play the Charlotte Hornets, and we like going to stadiums out of town. It's fun actually, and it's his birthday yesterday too, so he just turned 15. So I surprised him by getting him tickets. He likes the NBA. I don't know why. I never watched it. I watched it growing up. I never had it on when he was a kid. I didn't introduce it to him, but he loves the NBA. It's the weirdest thing, man. And he likes Kyrie because I always say, get your vaccine, Kyrie. That's what Stephen A. Smith does. Kyrie, get your vax. It's so stupid. It actually, look, Kyrie, I have issues with him in terms of calling Boston Celtics fans racist, hearing things that weren't said. With that said, someone did throw a freaking bottle of water on him. It's just weird to me, man. Like, why you gotta be so idiotic? Anyway, long story short, I mean, look, Kyrie isn't a perfect guy, but I like his stance on the vax, and I like the fact he stood up and he said something that you're not supposed to say, and I'm not going to get to it here. And I like people who got guts. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like Kanye West. That's why I like Owen Benjamin. That's why I like the people who say stuff that you're not supposed to say, because someone's got to say stuff, dude. You can't have groups of people. Like I just saw Robert Kraft. He had what a clown show. So he owns the Patriots. He had this ad that he paid for, the Robert Kraft Foundation, that says, the people who hate Jews are also the same people who hate blacks, the same people who hate Asians, they hate gays, they hate women, they hate Muslims, they hate blah, blah, blah. Basically, stop Asian hate, stop this hate, stop that hate, stop hate, nothing is white men. You know what I'm saying? If you're a straight white man, straight white Christian man like I am, Robert Kraft doesn't give two craps about you. And they can all kiss my big fat behind. And I'm just sitting there thinking, man, you're a freaking scumbag, dude. Why is it the straight white Christian men are the ones that have this freaking target on their backs? And this is the year I hope many straight white Christian men will say no more. I'm not putting up with this crap. That's why I posted something today on a Norway Savings Bank in Maine who gave $15,000 of the customer's money to support brown and black artists in Maine. That's not acceptable anymore. These days are over. It's not acceptable. It's not. University of Georgia, 60% of the attendees are women. Georgia Tech, 65% of the attendees are men. Georgia Tech actively recruits women. University of Georgia does not actively recruit men. We are being discriminated against. Now, I'm not going to say, oh my goodness, I'm going to look for racism around I'm not going to do that. This is the year I'm hoping people start standing up and say, no, I don't care if you call me racist. I just don't care. I don't care whatever you call me. I don't care. I'm not it. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to sit idly by and I watch people say Robert Kraft and all his rich money, freaking going down to some massage parlor in Florida, getting friggin' jiggy with it. And look, he's probably a nice man. I don't care. You start throwing in there and start discriminating against a certain group of people, you are a scumbag and you need to be called out. I don't care. And if you're belong to a group of people and you're hiding behind your, let's just put it this way, you're hiding behind a certain way you see the world, if you know what I'm saying, and yet you're trying to throw in with blacks and Asians and gays and Muslims and all that stuff. We know what you're doing. Like Jon Stewart said to a group of blacks, "Let's get Whitey," because Jon Stewart, that's not his name. They pretend like they care. They don't care, dude. They don't. They want us divided. So this year, my goal is to say, you can call me racist. I don't care. You can unsubscribe. I literally could care less, man. I don't care. I'm not holding back anymore I'm not going to, I'll be careful what I say on YouTube, but there's got to be a time where you hold people accountable for being racist. And that's all people. If you're white and you're racist, I don't want anything to do with it either, man. I don't. Now, racist in the ultimate term was what the Indians were saying. What they ascribed that to Indians back in the 1800s by saying they want to retain the characteristics of their American Indian heritage. And that was race. They're being racist by wanting to retain that. Now, that has obviously been corrupted because that is an honorable thing to do. Say, no, we want to retain our ethnicity, our heritage, our culture. And if you call us racist for doing that, that's fine. But it's been taken over now. Now racism is saying you think you're better. No, stupid. So stop freaking being so defensive. Stop it. Say no, I'll put up with it. I'm not going to do business with companies that perpetuate this crap. Now, obviously, look, YouTube, I get it. You got to fight the fight so you can get it. But every little battle helps 100%. All right, so that is something I really want to get behind this year. Is just say, no, we're gonna call out racists for being racist. Hey, Carson, right on, man. Hey, Carson's enjoying retirement with his wife. That's fantastic. And stop being so. Just when people say, just don't defend yourself. That's like saying all my best friends are black. Don't do that. Say, all right, whatever. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Just stop, man. This doesn't make any sense. All right. So a couple New Year's resolutions. Uh-oh. You coming in? I hear Finney outside barking. Come on, baby case. This will be my last Sunday live stream. I wanted to Exodus 20. Who knows what Exodus 20 is? Anyone want to know what Exodus 20 is? We're going to look at Exodus 20 real quick. Yeah, right on, Mark. Mark says he no longer cares what anyone calls me. I just don't. 100%. I just don't care. Yeah, I saw that about New York State. I saw that for illegal as many people it is. Exodus 20. Who knows what Exodus 20 is? Let's see what we got here. Look, my man just retired at 61. Right on, man. Right on. Buckeye 2661. All right. He says my resolution is not to die. Right on. All right, Exodus 20. Come on. Someone knows what Exodus. I know it's a 15-second delay. Someone knows what Exodus 20 is. Who knows what Exodus 20 is? You don't make me watch the Artemis live stream from NASA. I watch this guy, Wits It Gets It, who's freaking kicks ass, and he's a geocentrist, and I enjoy it very much. He goes, "Do not make me while I'm waiting for you guys to hit a thumbs up. Turn on the the NASA live stream because it's not a live stream. It's crap. Right on, Scott. It's the Ten Commandments. All right, so I want to look at a lot of people, myself included. We follow the Paul doctrine, the Pauline doctrine, whatever, about, I don't want to get too deep in this here tonight, but the Ten Commandments, saved by grace alone. But remember, the Ten Commandments, obviously, look, there's no one perfect other than Jesus. No one. All right. So we know that. We established that. I don't know what God I don't know, but I don't think God expects perfection of us. I don't think he does. However, he gave us rules of the road for which to live. And this is why this will be my last Sunday live stream. And I'm going to share with you why. All right. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt and out of the land of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. If we look at your checking account, that doesn't mean by giving to the Catholic Church, but just does mean, and not just you, I'm saying this to me too, is your checking account showing that you have no other gods but God. Our money is one of our gods. Let's make it not so much this year. All right, let's make money not so much one of our gods. Now, look, I got a mortgage to pay. You need money to get by in the society. I completely agree. But let's not focus so much on that. Let's bring it back this way. All right. You should not make for yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above or in the earth beneath or in this is the NIV version, by the way. All right, you should not make for yourself an image, no graven images. All right, no graven images. All right, you should not bow down to them or worship them. Are we worshiping money? Why do you think there's talk so much about money in the Bible? All right. For I, the Lord your God, and I'm jealous God. Now, this is supposedly God. Moses is writing this. I don't know, but I mean, at the end of, I don't know who actually wrote this. Is it Moses? I don't know if we have actual proof of that so much. Let's just go with it. But either way, it comes from Exodus. All right, so we know it's the second book of the Bible. All right, so you shall have no other gods before me. I am a jealous God. Do not make other gods, because I'm a jealous God. And let's see, and punishing the children for the sins of the parents to the third and the fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing love to 1,000 generations for those who love me and keep my commandments. You will not misuse the name of the Lord your God, for the Lord will not hold anyone guiltless who misuses our name. So let's not misuse the don't say Jesus, don't say Jesus Christ. Let's not do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't say I swear to God. Let's not say all that stuff. Look, I'm just telling you, let's try to avoid these things, man. It's literally from the Bible, all right? From Exodus 20. You got to remember, Exodus 20. So Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, those are the Gospels. Exodus 20 is the 10 Commandments, all right? So we know these things. All right, so let's make sure that we do not, Jesus Christ. No, unacceptable, man. Oh, God. Oh, God. No, let's not do that. Let's not use the Lord's name in vain. Now, we can argue whether Jesus in the Trinitarian way, you shouldn't say Jesus Christ. If he is the Son of God, regardless if he is actually one of three, I mean, I don't know. But Jesus has a special place. Let's not use Jesus' name in vain. Let's certainly not use the name of God in vain. You know what I'm saying? Don't say, oh, my God, or I swear to God. No, let's not do any of that. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. This is for me. Now, so for me, the Sabbath is supposed to be on Saturday. We make it Sundays here. So I'm not going to do any more videos or any live streams on Sundays anymore. Sundays is going to be, I'm going to keep the Sabbath this year, 100%. I'm going to keep it. I'm just going to hang out, read, watch some football, and be family oriented. You know what I'm saying? I don't drink, I don't smoke or anything like that. So it's okay. But it's going to be very family oriented. However that turns out, I'm not doing any more. This is work, and I enjoy this work, but still work nonetheless. And I think we need to go back to keeping the Sabbath. I really, really do. And I think the reason we do that, if you just look at the history of the biblical terms, just look at the Bible, but also the other research that have been done on that with apologetics and whatnot. The whole point was you harvest, and you take a day of rest to just focus on what God's glory and grace has done for you. And that allows you to say, okay, God, I'm taking a break. You will provide. You see what I'm saying? And it's funny because I looked at my, every day I look at YouTube analytics, and you can see your views and how much money you made on that. And it's like I said, YouTube's paying my mortgage. It's freaking awesome. It probably never paid me much more than that, but I'm okay. I mean, look, I'd love to get $100 million from that. Probably wouldn't. I'd love to get twice what I make on YouTube. I never will. I'm just kind of flatline there. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm very comfortable with that. But the issue is that anyway, the point being is every day I don't do a video, the views go down, and that means my revenue goes down. I think that hit me today. I was talking to Liam. I said, "Man, I gotta get home in time to do a video so I can, I can make some money." You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm kind of telling them how I work with a YouTube thing. I said, if you do a video on a regular basis, you'll get people who come back and they watch your videos, and YouTube will pay you by the advertisers. I don't have anything how YouTube does their ads. I don't know. Don't blame me if YouTube runs an ad every 5 minutes. I have no clue how that works. Anyway, and then it hit me. I said, I think I need to stop. I think I need to hold the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? And I think you need to do that. I think you need to take a day of rest and not do any work. And for a guy like me, I enjoy this. I think it's one of those things to just reflect. And I very much think it's important to do that. Anyway, so honor your father and mother so that you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you. And this is a problem for me. I haven't had a relationship with my dad in 20 years, and I'm not going to get into the whole reason why. And this is a challenge for me, all right, because the relationship was broken off because of my dad. He's thrown a couple lines of bait to me through my sister saying, "Would Josh want to be back?" And I'm not a guy who says, "Well, I need to have." It's one of those things like, I don't sure that's gonna be good for my family. You see what I'm saying? And it's one of those things. I like. How do I say this? He's the one who broke off the relationship, and now that he's getting older and kind of decrepit, I think he's trying to come back from that. But it's kind of like in AA, they don't require people to take you back in. If you're the drunk and you go knock on the guy's door that you violated, they don't require him to take you back in. You're just supposed to make amends, say, "I'm sorry." You see what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean that just because someone says, "I'm sorry," that you'll be now, "Okay, no, here's the keys to the cabin." It doesn't work like that. It just says, I made amends. And it's kind of one of those things is, even my mom, and I love my mom to death, she's nuts. But half the time she's nuts, half the time she's spot on. And when I say nuts, it's just not there or something. Anyway, and it's one of those things like I keep that somewhat, within arm's reach, if that makes sense, because it's not anyway. So I love my mom and I have a decent relationship with her, but it's one of those things that I know my mom. With my dad, it's not like that. I just like, it's one of those things. It's not a good position. I always go back to this with God. I say, yeah, but I'm not gonna. I don't know. I don't like it, and I'm pretty comfortable in the way I'm looking at this. Actually, even though biblically it says honor your father and mother, I think I am honoring my father and my mother in the way I'm living my life. Frankly, I do think I am, and it's one of those things. Just because they're your family doesn't mean you have to continue to be abused. That's a big thing for me. I'll never forget. I heard this guy Jack Spurko from the Survival Podcast talk about that probably 10 years ago. Someone had emailed him or wrote in or something like that, and he goes, "Look, man, just because it's your family, you don't have to continue to take abuse from." And that hit me. I said, yeah, like 100%. That's exactly my thinking. You don't have to be abused just because it's your familial tie. And until that abuse is definitively going to stop, you're not obligated to take the abuse. And that's anyway. You should not murder, obviously. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill. That's what we all think about the commandments. You shall not murder. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not kill, and thou shalt not steal. You should not steal. You should not give false testimony against your neighbor. All right, no ad hominem attacks, no lying, no stretching the truth. You can't. Don't cherry pick quotes that said, "Oh, like this guy I'm arguing with, who I'm not going to say his name." He said, "Oh, Josh, I don't take you seriously because you said no inflation." And I said, "Dude, I never said that. I never said that. I don't know why you're saying that. You can't. That's holding false. You can't do that. Don't lie about people. Essentially, don't lie. Just be truthful. I tell you, man, being truthful solves all problems. You don't have to worry about it. Remember, once you lie, then you got to remember what lie you told, and you got to lie to cover up for the other lie. You should not covet your neighbor's house. You should not covet your neighbor's wife. You should not his ox or donkeys or anything that belongs to your neighbor. You should not covet. Now, that's a tough one there, because we know what Jesus says about lust, right? Looking at a lady is lust, and that's a sin. And coveting. Oh man, like I never understood these people who like, oh man, I wish I had that fancy car or anything. I don't get that. I've never understood. Like literally, thankfully, and that's thankfully because way when I was raised by my parents, we didn't have anything, and we didn't. We never. I mean, at least for me, I never said, man, life would be so much better if I only had a speed car. You know what I'm saying? I never. I just had no appeal to me whatsoever. Don't covet things. Now I look at realtor.com. I said, man, that'd be pretty cool having that house on the water. You know what I'm saying? But I don't sit there and say, oh, life would be so much better for that. I'm not like that. I never have really been. My wife isn't like that either. Yeah, but we do think, oh, it'd be cool if we had this. It's just not anything as covetous, whatever that word is. But are there things we're coveting that we don't have? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, I was listening to a guy today talk about Bob Dylan and how there's no way other than um, some kind of bad vibes of the world that Bob Dylan would become so notorious. I mean, because his music sucks, his lyrics suck. He's not good, horrible singer. He said to Ed Bradley, he basically sold himself to the devil. That's the only way Bob Dylan would become as well known as he is and famous and rich. And I just read some. Oh, it's done. Anyway, so anyway, the point being is that do you really want to be Bob Dylan? That fame and fortune? Nah, you don't want to be that because with that, with much is given, much is expected. And if you're given it a lot from dark forces, you're expected to do a lot of dark things. And you don't want that. Anyway, the point being is take Exodus 20 seriously, my friends. It's in the Bible for a reason, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not, this is tough to, no matter what version, the ancient Hebrew, the Greek, the Latin, it's all pretty much the same Exodus 20. And it's all serious stuff, or else it wouldn't be in there to begin with. Again, we can argue along the perimeter whether or not Moses had written it, what year. I get all that. That's fine. You can do that all day long. However, this is passed from generation after generation, Exodus 20, regardless of the text, the conceptualness of it is all the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the Gospels. All right. That's tough to change. We know the four Gospels and we know the Exodus 20. We can go down to Deuteronomy and all that stuff should we need to. But at the beginning of our faith journey, let's take it seriously. And as for me, and like my man Carson just said, no Chick-fil-A on Sunday, and then no Josh on Sunday. Yeah, I didn't think about that till you just said that, Carson, about Chick-fil-A. So kudos to them. I just think it's important. So for me, as I go into this new year, I want to I want to fight back against racism. You know what I'm saying? And that means anti-white racism. It's insane. It's insane what we've allowed white people to be. It's just insane. And that doesn't mean, oh my goodness, you're going to join the Nazi. Hell, Hitler was pro-white. You kidding me? How many white people died to fight that stupid idiot's war? You know what I'm saying? Actually, did the Nazis actually lose? Do you know who ran NASA? Come on, man. Jeez. The Nazis lost, really? Come on. All the physics departments throughout the world, don't even get me started. You don't even talk about German physics, and it's just the whole thing silly. Anyway, the point being is, don't tell me that Hitler was for white people. Like, what? Huh? What? That's like saying communism was for poor people. Hitler was for whites, the same as commies were for poor people. It's crazy. It's just idiots. And I'm not going to tolerate idiots this year. I'm just not. That doesn't. But I'm still trying to bring positive vibes. See what I'm saying? So I'm bringing positive vibes. Positive vibes means you don't go on the defense. You don't need to defend the indefensible. What I mean by that, it's okay that you're white. It's okay that you're Christian. It's okay that you're straight. You know what I'm saying? It's okay that you have kids. You don't need to defend that. You don't need to say, well, I am doing my part. No, just, yeah, that's who I am. Take or leave it. No defense is needed. So that, yeah, you're right. I am white guy. Enough said. Okay. We need to talk about this anymore because really nothing else to say. Well, I don't care. Don't care. Literally, I'm over this. And as such, you don't need to go on the defense. You don't need to go on the offense. You just state a matter of fact that, yeah, white guy. That's so bad. Okay. Don't have anything to do with me. That's okay. That's what makes it so amazing to me when they wouldn't take the black people's money and these, when they were racist against the blacks. Like, what? You wouldn't take, I'd be like, what? That doesn't make any sense. You got some black guys who want to shop at your store and you're like, I don't want your money. Okay, that's stupid. But the way they fought back against that was being the affirmer. So yeah, you're right. Stating things as a matter of fact. That's not bringing negative energy in the world. That's bringing positive energy. Positive is we value everyone because we're all made in God's image. Crazy. All right. So that's one. So number two is, so we talk about not keeping the Sabbath, keeping the Sabbath. We talk about not being defensive, not bringing negative energy. I just need to eat better. That's all there is to it. So you don't ever want to say, I'm not going to do this. You always want to say more like, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to eat better. My goal is I'd like to lose 10 pounds. And the way to lose 10 pounds is to eat better and exercise more. I exercise pretty good. So I'm not all that worried about exercise, but I am worried about eating better, if that makes sense. So that's another one of my goal. The big goal that the society creates, and this is something for me and for maybe some of you guys too, is the distractions. All right. So one of the things I've come to the conclusion. Now, listen to this guy, Matt McKinley from Quantum of Conscious YouTube channel. He talks about this a lot. He talks about the distraction of I don't want to say the evildoers, but the dark powers that exist out there to separate you from doing what you're on this world to do. You're distracted by politics. You're distracted by all kinds, the distractions. And, like Charlotte's very keen on what's going on with Idaho murders. You know what I'm saying? And, I hate to say it's entertaining, but frankly, it is. And it's interesting to her. And I'm just using that for an example. If you're using your time and energy watching the Idaho murder, and she's not, I'm just using this for an example. It's okay to be entertained, but are you being distracted? Like, you have to be doing something better, but you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. Maybe you're looking too much at pornography and you should be doing something else. Maybe you're drinking too much beers, which is making you kind of, it takes your mind away from things you should be doing. Maybe you're staying at late tonight, firing off things on Facebook or whatever, the Twitter. I can't believe someone disagrees with me on the internet. Yeah, look, we all fall for this stuff, man. But it's the distractions, and the distractions aren't from God. No way. They're from the dark area. And I just think trying to avoid the distractions that are keeping you on the sharp and narrow. That's why idle hands, man. I cannot. It's weird. It's like the more idle the hands, the more distracted you become, and the more you fall suspect to various things that will doom you. Pornography, alcohol, drugs. I don't have any problem with drugs. But all that kind of stuff, and whatever it is, gambling. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Fantasy football. Matt was talking about fantasy football. Isn't it interesting how that's just taken off, and now we're seeing, NBA.com, like they're, you're watching a game and they'll say, hey, Jalen Rose, which I can't stand, but who do you think will get the first basket in the third quarter? And you can make a bet on freaking Kyrie Irving or whoever, Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? You're like, see, this is all distractions. It's all to take your time away from being on a straight and narrow, what you should be doing to accomplish what God put you on this earth to do. So for me, I really want to try to figure out my distractions and really, because I know what they are, and what yours are, and nip them in the bud. And actually, the last month or so, I've been really doing better at that. I've been going to Dunkin' Donuts, getting a cup of coffee, and working on my book, and I'm really surprised how well that has worked for me. You know what I'm saying? And just getting out of the house, getting out of the distractions. I hate to say it, but get away from the dogs and just going and banging it out. It's actually worked real well for me, and I want to keep doing that. Anyway, the point being is, what distracts you? So again, the affirmative. What are you going to do in the affirmative? All right. So one of the things I learned in Sales 101, I never learned this from a sales guy. Whatever sales courses I had at various firms, I just listened to it from a guy, Aaron Helmsley. I'm sure he's dead by now, but he has some books on tapes about sales. He goes, you can't control the outcome. You can only control inputs. So don't say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. How? I'm going to lose weight. No. You said, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. How? I'm going to eat better. You can't control the 10 pounds, but you can control, are you eating better? So don't judge your success or failures by the results, because you can't control that. You can only control your inputs. I want to lose weight. How do I do that? I eat better. Did I eat better today? Yes, no, okay. The weight will come or come not. I don't know, but I can't control that. I can control what I put in my body, though. You know what I'm saying? I control if I go downstairs and work out. I can control if I get a good night's sleep. Obviously, if you wake up and but you know what I'm saying. You can control what you can control. The rest will come or won't. And if it doesn't come, you don't have to hang your head. So I tried my best, man. Anyway, so that's my three big things. Keep the Sabbath, lots of positive energy that I want to bring into the world. Without, I want to bring positive energy, not negative energy. I think it's a positive affirmation that I'm going to bring positive stuff, not negative stuff. And I'm sure I'll fall. I'm going to try. I want to eat better. I got to cut out the freaking crap. I love ice cream. I love sugary stuff. I just got to cut it out, man. I got to cut it out. And I'm not going to say I'm going to go super duper low carb, or I'm going to go all carnivore diet, but I want to do a more carnivore-ish and less carbs. It's just all there is to it. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to keep the Sabbath as well. So positive energy, watch my distractions, keep the Sabbath, and frankly, the last one was just watch what I eat. So anyway, yeah, 100%, man. I gained weight too, and I can see my face, man. That's the thing. It's like I was talking to this guy the other day on the call. I said, man, I can see it in my face. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't like it. There's a guy, Fight Tips on YouTube. I'm not gonna be able to fight him. Fight Tips on YouTube, where he shows you like shadow boxing and stuff. Dude, this guy kicks ass. What's his name? Shane, I think, on Fight Tips on YouTube. I was like, why do these guys shadow box? I mean, that's not. I started doing it. I was like, holy crap, that is hard. Just shadow box. Trust me. Fight Tips on YouTube. Say shadow box. You're like, nah, dude, no way, dude. It is freaking tough. 20 minutes of doing that, and you're gonna be exhausted. It's amazing to me. And my man who does my website, David Simon. He used to be a major bodybuilder. Then he hurt himself. I think he rotator cuffed himself actually, and now he's just doing band, like a major, like a touring bodybuilder. He and his wife, and now but he hurt himself pretty bad. So now he just does bands. He goes, jog bands are great. You know what I'm saying? Just bands, resistance bands. Because you don't need the weights, just resistance bands. I said, are you getting a good burn? He goes, absolutely. So anyway, the point being is, there are easy techniques, because the thing about walking, I enjoy walking, but it doesn't. I like the 20 minutes of high intensity. There's another guy on YouTube, High Intensity. I forgot his name. He's interviewed a couple people I enjoy very much, like Dr. Thomas Cowan and whatnot, but I can't remember his name. I've watched his videos for a couple months, but High Intensity, we're just like, I just got to get the in the sweat, and walking doesn't really do that for me so much. It's good, but I want to, anyway, I'm telling you, shadow boxing. Oh man, it's freaking crazy. It's good. And then this guy's doing like this kickboxing stuff. This guy's good. He can kick way up here. I'm like, all right, let me try that. I did. He's like, all right, you probably won't be able to kick over than someone's groin at first. I'm like, dude, I'm like, if I can kick his shins, I got no flexibility. I'm like, huh? So I'm like, all right, I kick the guy's groin, right? And I'm like, I can barely lift my legs up. I said, I can't. Anyway, so he goes, that just takes time. It's a freaking, I was like, a freaking sucking wind, man. After 40, well, I'm 52, man. Doug McGuff. Not sure who that is, Tim. Who's Doug McGuff? I'm still liking the nudies, man. 100%. Yeah, right on, Mark. It's just simple. Keep it simple, stupid. I'm just an army guy. I'm just a caveman. My man Carson says, 1 Corinthians 10:31. So wherever you eat or drink, whatever you do, give all glory to God. 100%, man. 100%. 1 Peter 1:16. Since it's written, you shall be holy, for I am holy. Yeah, Carson. Oh, wait, that's Mark's dog. Look at that freaking dog. Oh my goodness, so cute. Buckeye says retired at 62. He's got 1.3 million in Admiral, a third in Admiral, a third in Money Market, a third in Wellesley. No debt, taking Social Security at 70. My thoughts, dude. All right. So, all right, we're gonna. Look at Denise. Anyone traveling on I-95 through South Carolina, you can't have any positive thoughts if you're trying to travel on I-95. Amazing foods at Clark's in Santee, South Carolina. Right on. All right, so my man on Rumble, Buckeye 2661. All right, so we're gonna bash Buckeye here in a positive way. He's got 1.3 million, a third in Wellesley, a third in Admiral, a third in Money Market. He no debt, and he's taking Social Security at 70. Any thoughts? All right. What would I say to Mark? Anyone? So we're just gonna bash this guy for just a second. And I say bash in a loving way, Um, yeah. Pulverizer said he's keeping his weight up so when the economy crumbles, I can get by a couple extra weeks. Actually, it's funny you said that with this extra fat. My man, I tell you, if you watch this guy, Quantum Conscious YouTube channel, I freaking, this guy, I don't know why. I get it when he talks. He's a conspiracy theorist, and you might not agree. I don't care. I literally could care less. I don't care what you, but he says, look, this is the whole thing where I got the distractions from. He's like, we go down these rabbit holes of conspiracy theories, or you go down the rabbit holes of Trump or Trump tax returns, all that. It doesn't matter. They, whoever they are, the Rockefellers, the friggin' Rothschilds, the friggin' Jesuits, the friggin' evildoers, the dark, whatever. They want you distracted. Go down these rabbit holes because distracted means you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. I just, for some reason, like, I love the conspiracy theories. I love it. The JFK assassination, the fake moon landing. I love looking at the research of that because most people don't pay any mind to it. They just go along. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We went on the moon. Oh, okay. Can you explain this, that, and the other? Well, I just listened to Neil deGrasse Tyson. Well, he's a fool. I just listened to Buzz Aldrin. Okay, so you listen. No, see, but that's distraction. Now, I think you have to get a foundation. Don't get me wrong. You got to get a foundation of why Einstein is a clown, of how that came to be. You got to get a foundation of why George W. Bush was a clown, how we all fell for it. You see, I mean, look, I'm not just the political scenario. You got to get a foundation of how the politics, it's literally the biggest distraction there is. It's red versus blue, 48 to 52, 49 to 51, 50.1 plus 49.9. It just is a distraction. It's a distraction. That's going to happen whether or not you are following it or not. It's going to happen. Ronna McDonald's, whatever that stupid name is from the RNC. That's frick. I just saw Trey Gowdy on there. I can't stand Trey Gowdy. He's a clown. I can't stand. I mean, but I also can't stand the other clowns. See, but it's a distraction. That's what it is. Distracting you from what you are supposed to be doing. I don't know what you are supposed to be doing. I don't know. But I think I know what I'm supposed to be doing, which is helping people. Like my mom, she said, Josh, you should go to law school because she read one of my books. And I said, why? She goes, well, you just were able to, I think she read my first book, Strategic Money Planning. She goes, and she was married to a lawyer. And she goes, because you explain some of these concepts a lot of people don't get. You explain them very well. That made me very proud. She just told me that the other day. I'm not going to go to law school, but she said you explain it well, and I think you'd be very interested in how the law works, like the language of the law and whatnot. And it's funny because 25 years or so ago, I was going to law school until her husband said, "Don't do it." All these attorneys I know, they're miserable. No one's making any money. I mean, there are a few making money, but they're just miserable. Don't do it. I said, because he had a pretty big, he'd been practicing. He was a district attorney of Cumberland County, Maine. My mom's husband in the 70s or something like that. So he had a pretty good thing, and he gave me a recommendation at University of Maine, and so I was able to go. I got in, and they gave me some money and all that. And I was probably going to go until he said, "Look, I'm happy to freaking support you any way I can, Josh, but I just don't recommend it." I said, look, his name was Henry. I said, look, Henry, these guys from University of Maine, they graduate, they're making X, Y, Z. He goes, that's all lies. It's all fake. I said, what? I said, these law schools say that their average grad is making $70,000 a year, blah, blah, blah. He goes, it's fake. It's just fake. He goes, look, man, I'm just telling you, it's fake. I deal with all these guys. They're all miserable. No one's making any money. and you're gonna hate it in terms of what you think it is. Now, 25 years later, my mom's saying, yeah, but now it's almost more of a philosophical thing. I'm not going to law school. I don't have the time, the desire, maybe the desire, but I don't have the time or the patience, frankly. But anyway, so and the funny thing is, but it's just because you're able to explain a concept that's logical, but a lot of people don't get it in a way that they can get it. And that made me like incredibly proud. And so I think that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Because I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I think I have the ability to do that. To take, the what the a lot of hoity-toity good time rock and rollers would use to talk over people's heads when it comes to financial issues, and I can just cut through the BS and just do it like freaking just a white trash guy from Maine can do. You know what I'm saying? Just cut it through the chase and tell it like it is. You see what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people get something out of that, and if they didn't, I would have no YouTube channel. But I'm actually happy to do that. I'm proud of it. And I enjoy it very much. Anyway, so this is what I'm supposed to be doing. However, I'm doing all these other distractions. I'm not writing books. I'm not thinking. I'm not playing on YouTube videos. You see what I'm saying? I'm doing what I'm not supposed to be doing. So anyway, so Matt was saying, Matt from Quantum Conscious, he has this thing. It's just a video. He goes, and I just saved it to my watch later because I definitely want to watch this. He says, why the economic collapse never happens. Dude, I can't wait to watch this. Because it's annually. The economic collapse that's always supposed to happen never happens. You ever notice that? Why? Well, Argentina, well, they're still living. They still got food. They still got the internet. And then they got these commercials. 1 in 6 Americans are food, what do they say? Food negligent, not negligent. What's the word I'm looking for? Food something. I said, I don't think we have a lack of fat people in the United States, man. You know what I'm saying? A food that I'm enough. I said that's bullcrap. Anyway, so I just find it funny that the economic collapse that everyone talks about, it's not going to happen because you didn't pay attention. You see what I'm saying? I'm not paying attention. Thus, the economic collapse is going to happen. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, right here, Mark. When I see Mark is once again hitting out of the ballpark. It's actually because that gorgeous dog. It's not because Mark has that much brains. Look at that dog. So cute. Mark says, when he looks at others' wealth, cars, whatever, I'm happy for them. I'm not saying I'm happy. Depends on the wealth and the cars. I'm not all that happy for people who are driving fancy schmancy good time rock and roll cars. Like, you think Jay Leno is happy with his 50,000 cars? I don't think so. I just, you think like a king, like who was, I don't know, maybe Shakespeare or something, I don't know, says, maybe it's Mao. You don't want to be the number one guy because you're always looking over your shoulder. I don't know who said that. It might be a mafioso. I don't know. But be that as it may, I do appreciate what Mark says. I'm interested in what they acquired in the story, but no bad thoughts at all. I completely agree. This is where I'm telling you, this for all you guys who doubt your old buddy Josh. I see what makes successful retirement. It's always the same flipping thing. No debt and no car payments. Driving an older car. It's the millionaire next door thing. It's literally that simple. I see it every single day. The same old story. A guy freaking 25 years ago, he was digging ditches and he just kept digging ditches. He kept his nose clean. He showed up on time. He drove a, friggin' 1991 Ford F-150. Every 10 years, he replaced it, paid cash money for it, or he paid off quickly. You know what I'm saying? He may or may not put his kids through college. His wife probably worked as a freaking assistant at a dental practice or something like that, or even a incoming, even a secretary, something like that, maybe even the food service line at school. I see it all the time. Now they wake up, they got 1.2 million and no debt. It's the same it's America, man. Oh, it's the same freaking thing every single time. It's the same story. And I, was talking to these guys the other day, and I said, she drove a 2010 Sierra or something like that. I can't remember what it was. No, she drove a 2010 Toyota. It wasn't a Camry, but it was a Toyota. He drove a 2004 Ford F-150 or something. I can't remember what it was. But I always say, man, that's funny because I always say the husband drives a 2007 Ford F-150. The wife drives a 2013 Toyota Camry. And I know they're going to retire. You know what I'm saying? And they drove, 3 years earlier than that. What did she drive? Was it Sierra? Is it Sienna? No, it was Sienna. I can't remember. It was a Toyota. Maybe it was a Highlander because that's what I drive. 2013 Highlander. But hers, I can't remember. Anyway, it's the same old story. All right. Yeah, right on. Do others as you want done to you. That's how I live. Right on. Well, I want done to me some lobsters, dude. So where are they at? Where are they at, man? Do to others. I want done to me some lobsters. Come on. I got in with my dad. I didn't talk to him for 1 year. He got sick on dialysis. I talked to him on the phone. He was crying so hard, I was shocked. My dad's a crier. Yeah, that's it is what it is, man. With your folks. I mean, it is what it is. I personally, I don't know how. Look, this is just me, man. I don't know how a man can leave his children. I just don't know. I mean, look, and if you have done, I'm not blaming you. Frank, and maybe it hasn't hit me, and thankfully, but maybe because I got married older. Only thing I could possibly think. I got married when I was 29. Thank the good Lord, and I was sober by then. But I don't know how. I don't know how a man can leave his children in the hands of another man, if that makes sense. I don't know how you could do that. And if another I don't know, man. I don't to be raised by another man. That's I don't get it. Maybe that's just my own bias because that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? For me and my brother and sister, we got raised by my mom, and then other men, if you know what I'm saying, would come in and be part of the life for a couple weeks or a couple months and then leave. Come back, another guy would come back, be part of our life for a couple months, couple weeks, and leave. And then finally, we moved in with my mom's second husband, and he wasn't, he had no obligation to us whatsoever, which is, that's okay. But because he already had his own family, you know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, you're like, how does a man? I don't know how a man does that, and it's not. I'm not yelling at anybody. Just for me personally, it's no different than what I saw my own parents. I said that's not how you live your life financially. That's a bad way to be financially. And I went the other direction. I think a lot of us do that. We learn from our parents. Said no, that's not how that's a failure. I seen that with my own very eyes. I'm not doing that. I'm doing this instead because if they go left and they always going left and always hitting a big roadblock, I don't want to hit those roadblocks. I want to go right. So I'm going to do something differently, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, see right here, man. Why would you? I mean, I'm sorry. If your dad is telling you crap like this, he's literally saying if you don't subject yourself to potential harm, you can't talk to me. I'd say okay. I'm seeing it. I mean, that's freaking nuts, man. That's nuts. I can't even. Literally can't imagine. My wife was just telling me some guy she knows from her last job. Her mom, big MSNBC, I'm sure double masked, all the possible that, and just got COVID again. I said, man, you guys crazy. And it's weird though. I'm like, we never said like, oh, I just got the flu. Oh my goodness. No, we never. But just this, I don't want to get too deep in COVID because I don't want to get. Well, I'm not gonna say it's truly stupid, man. I mean, come on, that's not. Let's not say that. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but let's not say it's stupid. I just, that's that. So basically, what you're saying is anyone who spent more than 20,000 on a car is stupid. Don't do that. That's not a good thing. But I see what you're saying. No debt, as I'm content as content can be. I just don't get joy from stuff. I tell you, man, 100%, 100%. Yeah, no, I'm happy for people and their stuff. I'm not. I just don't care. That's the thing. It's like I literally, guy across the street just got a brand new some kind of sports car, and he probably enjoys it. I don't get it, and I don't have to get it. He can do whatever the hell he wants. I just don't. I literally could care less. I find it weird that people spend all kinds of money on a vehicle, but that's okay. He probably finds it weird that I spend all kinds of money on what do I taking Liam to a freaking basketball game in Charlotte. That's okay. Yeah. And divorce is a freaking butt kicker on finances. That's a fact. Yeah, me too, man. Both my college daughters drive our cars. Yep. Hey, look at my man Jeff. Last Friday, thanks for the leadership. Happy New Year. Freaking awesome, dude. What are you gonna do with your time? No debt, no car payments since 2008 Ford Ranger. They even still make the Rangers. And I just disagree. Not paying enough attention. What is enough attention? You see what I'm saying? I was listening to who was it? It was Jim Brewer. The guy who used to be on Saturday Night Live. Jim Brewer, I think is his name. He's got a YouTube channel. It's okay. I'll check it out on occasion. He had a guy who says do a media fast for 7 days or whatever it was, and that's a great idea. Just do a media fast. Don't open the newspaper. Don't look at any current event. Don't do anything for 7 days. Don't do anything. Throw on a 30-pound pack and hike hills. Nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. My days of humping pounds on my back are over, man. We used to have rucksack. I don't know how heavy they were, but we used to have these huge rucksacks. And so I was an M60 gunner for a while, and my assistant, what do they call him? Assistant gunner? I forgot. This guy was named Thanos. And Thanos wasn't very rugged. Actually, Thanos was a clown. He was a character, and very much enjoyed Thanos, but he wasn't a rugged guy. So when we do these freaking road marches, and just oh gosh, Thanos would more often not fall out, and so he'd carry all the rounds, these 7.62 rounds, and I don't know, 500 rounds or something like that. I can't remember. And so it's like, give it to me, Thanos. You know what I'm saying? So, and basically, I was like, okay. So you have this what's called a spare barrel, because a barrel gets so hot, you couldn't. One time I touched it, and that was Anyway. So you put 500 rounds down range of 7.62, and an M60 is an automatic. An M16 was not. And the AR-15 is not an automatic rifle. Idiots. AR does not mean automatic rifle. Idiots. They're just idiots. That's an idiot right there at Liberty. That is stupid to say an AR-15 is automatic. Oh, see, I feel like I'm getting negative energy there. I don't want to do that. Anyway, so then you had a spare barrel and you had a tripod. You had this tripod because on M60, you had the two bipod right off the top of the, not the barrel, but the top of whatever it is. And you had to put the barrel in there. You lay down your bipod, and if that didn't work, and then if you're in a defensive thing like a foxhole, you lay down this freaking tripod and you had it up there, and look, I never went to combat, so I'm not a combat vet. I'm sure the first freaking sign of a bullet flying over my head, I'd run for cover. I'd be like, I don't want anything to do with this. I certainly don't want anything to do with it now. Fight some other clown's war. Anyway, long story short, that's some heavy weight there. You see what I'm saying? And so old Thanos would fall back, and someone had to carry this stuff. And, I was full of piss and vinegar. I said, give it to me, Thanos. And so I'd be humping that stuff. And man, we had a guy, Sergeant First Class. I want to say it's Fonda, but I don't think it's Fonda. Anyway, old man. I mean, hell. I mean, he must have been probably 50 years old or something like that. And I was like, how the hell do you do this? He was all tabbed. I think he was, probably special forces. He was in a Ranger bat, all that stuff. Then he came, I don't know how he was, but he had all the stuff. And I was like, how does this guy do this? He's an old man. You know what I'm saying? And I said, his knees, you think about these guys who play football for a career. I said, how about these infantry guys? I mean, we used to do 25-mile road marches. They used to be 100-mile road marches before I was up there in Fort Drum, 100-mile road marches with weapons, the whole thing. It wasn't just going for a stroll. And I was like, these guys' knees have got to be shot, dudes. You know what I'm saying? Got to be shot. And then I'll never forget, we go to Panama and we're going through the jungle and all this crap on your back and freaking monkeys trying to steal their weapons and literally pooping on their hands, throwing at you. And I was like, how did these guys do this in Vietnam? They still got to deal with monkeys. They still got to deal with all this stuff. But on top of that, they got to deal with these BC who are setting up traps and shooting. I said, for the love of me, how the hell did we end up in Vietnam to begin with? And then on top of that, how did these guys do that and survive? Because Panama, just going through the whatever was down, JOTC, I forgot what it was, some kind of training center. It freaking sucked. I said, this sucks. I hate this. I hate it like more than anything. And we went in the summertime, so it was all humid and just, horrible. And you just want to jump off a bridge and kill yourself and say, I'm done with this. And I was like, these guys did this in Vietnam where people are setting up freaking Claymore mines and shooting at them and freaking incoming and, anyway, just nothing but respect for those guys in Vietnam. And it's just crazy because you're like, dude, it's hard enough just to walk around without in stateside, not getting shot at. Yeah, thanks. Summer of 69. The summer of 69. What's my favorite dessert? Dude, I love chocolate chip cookies. I could kill chocolate chip cookies. Yeah. I do think this year the Packers might be going to the Super Bowl. I agree. Packers and the Chargers. You know what's great about the Fox News or Fox Sports? So we're watching the Packers win 41-3, and they kept that game on where the 49ers and Raiders are going into overtime. That makes sense to keep the 41-3 game on and not put on the Raiders and 49ers. That's good stuff. See, Dougie Be Fresh with Mark with average expenses, but we don't know. That's the point, Mark. Well, Dougie, that guy did not say what his average expenses were. Are you talking about the same guy I'm talking about? The Buckeye 2661. Yeah, what are you expecting? Summer 69. Right on, dude. No, I tell you. Yeah, I hear you, but at the same time, Penelope, and Penelope is a resident bot, by the way. Is that it's one of those things like, I mean, I don't know how to say this, but let's just say you did some bad things, right? And now you're like, hey, I want to see. I just in AA, you have to have an apology. You have to make amends in Alcoholics Anonymous. You have to. You don't grovel. You just say, man, I screwed up. I'm sorry. You have to do that. And just look at AA, the 12 steps. Make a list and seek amends. A lot of people are going to slam the door in your face. You have to do that. You don't do it by saying, hey, it's been a long time. That's not it. You got to start by making amends. And there's something called dry drunks. All right. And a dry drunk is someone who retains the drunkenness of an alcoholic, but he just doesn't drink. And dry drunks are not as bad. They actually can be worse because they'd be a lot more manipulative because they're sober, if that makes sense. And the thing I'm telling you, you got to be careful with these dry drunks, because if manipulating is their repertoire and they're good at it, the fact that they remain sober, it opens up more opportunity for them to be dry drunks. You just got to be careful. I don't want to talk about that anymore. All right. Yeah, 58,007 to be precise, of which 7 were women and 58,000 were men. I actually think what they do, and again, who they are, I'm not sure. I don't know. Again, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, the Dark Forces, I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? The Jesuits, I don't know. But I think what they do is they use wars to kill off young men, because young men are the revolutionaries. We know this, you know what I'm saying? And so wars will kill off young men. Then when they don't want to have wars anymore, other than wars in Ukraine, which we fund and we're not winning, which is weird. You think by now we say, yeah, we've done all we can. Sucks to be you, Ukraine. You're not even part of NATO, for heaven's sake. Anyway, but then when they can't kill off the young men through war, they throw pornography and gaming and other things for distractions. Pornography, gaming, gambling. You know what I'm saying? And that takes over a lot of young men's brains, and the propaganda that goes on those gamings, the propaganda that comes with pornography, the propaganda that comes with just what I don't know, the breads and circuses, because young men are what determines the future of societies, not young women, young men. And young men either get killed off or they get basically lobotomized essentially. And I mean, you think about it, the First World War, the Second World War, Vietnam, they got rid of the draft, but they started having major economic quote success unquote. And what has that led to? It seems like a lot of young men who don't know how to freaking tie their own shoes, essentially, and they don't need to. That's the issue. They don't need to. They don't have the desire. The testosterone levels are down. You see what I'm saying? And you can't blame them because they're like, everything I have is here. Why do I need to do anything? Whereas a lot of us, we said, dude, I got to get the hell out and start working because I don't have anything. It's not. I think about this with my own kids all the time. It's not good to be raised in affluence necessarily. You see what I'm saying? I mean, there's benefits of, don't get me wrong. I know this is first world problem, but we're experiencing this. We've had now a generation, 2 generations of nothing but affluence. And I think we're seeing the problems thereof. Now these are better problems in some regard than the problems of poverty where people didn't have, hell, they're lucky they had, freaking 3 hots and a cot. But I don't know, man. I just, we don't have to send people to war anymore because now we're a brave new world. Just give them the Sama. But I still there's enough positivity out there for the youngsters. I'm still optimistic. I'm still optimistic. Doesn't take much to break out of that. I mean, hell, we all kind of did, right? We broke out of it. Doesn't take much. That's the thing is once the once it cracks, the whole thing crumbles very quickly. So like the conspiracy theorists, once you see the one, you're like, well, if they can lie about that, then they can lie about a hell of a lot of other things. You see what I'm saying? They can lie about everything. And once you see the thing, you're like, oh, now I get it. It's all conspiracy. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean, literally, it doesn't matter. It just matters how I use my limited time on this earth to do what I'm supposed to be doing. Because I do think at the end of the day, we're going to be judged on our actions. And I don't think your works alone get you into the pearly gates. I don't think that. I think it's faith and works. I think there's both. I don't think faith gets you in there. James, read the book of James. And I don't think works gets you in there either. If you want to read Paul, okay. But either way, I think there has to be 2. Oh, God, I love you above all things. Did you keep the commandments? Yes. Oh, you did you? Well, yes. Oh, okay. Let's go through them one by one. You're going to tell me to violate any of these. Because you violated one, you violated them all, essentially. So you can't keep the commandments. You can't be sin-free. You just can't. All right. So we know for a fact you're not going to get into heaven by works because it's impossible, because the works as defined by here, and that here being the Exodus 20, it's impossible to attain. It just knows it is. So we have to have faith, but we can't just say, God, but I loved you more than anything. Oh, did you? Did you feed the poor? Did you take care of the orphans? Did you all that stuff? I mean, look, that's another thing is like, did you go to prison ministry like Chuck Colson? I mean, all these things that you can do, a million things you can do. Did you act as the parable of the talents? God gave you $2 million and you just, you buried it in the sand as opposed to investing it to watching it grow so you can help God's people. You don't invest to watch it to grow so you can be more gluttony. That's not what we're here to do. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I don't think we're supposed to be here investing, watching it grow so we can be bigger gluttons. I don't. If your belly's sticking out way over your knees, I don't think God's saying, "Hey, invest it so you can watch it grow so you can buy more freaking crap. I don't think that's what we're supposed to be doing. I mean, I think we all can agree with that. So if we're investing it in the parable of the talents and watching it grow, why are we watching it grow? So we can use it to expand God's kingdom by helping his people. And how we do that, I don't think you give it to Catholic charities. I don't think you give it to boys clubs, maybe boys clubs. I don't know, but I haven't seen what. Probably not. I think you find some good charities that are doing good work, and you give it to them directly, 100%. Or you just do it yourself. You just go out to the street and you start here's $10, here's 20, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know how you do it because I don't have that kind of scratch. But I certainly don't think you're sitting on $3 million or $2 million or $100 or whatever. I'm going to invest it, and I'm not going to hide it under a bushel. I'm going to let it shine, and people are going to see it shining because my belly's getting bigger. Now, I don't think that's how it's supposed to work, man. Shot the monkeys and ate them. No, you don't shoot the monkeys. I mean, how do you shoot the monkey? We didn't have live rounds in Panama. I mean, some people try with their firing pins and this, but you can't freaking shoot the monkeys. Why would you shoot a monkey? Now, if he's coming at you, one thing, but you got to have a live round to do that. Here's Lisa. Bought my 2011 Toyota Corolla, brand new, paid off in 3 years, and since freaking Lisa's crushing, man. Lisa, you crushing. Now, it's not food deprived. It's like I live in North Fulton County. Yeah, right on. There's my man Vaughn. Haven't watched news for 3 to 4 months. Don't particularly care to. Even hear family talking news or politics. Right on, man. All right. With new RMD, and Josh, my news channel. With new RMD at age 75, should those of us 5 years or less to retirement take another look at traditional 401k? Seems more time to draw down with average tax rates or marginal. All right, so just remember the new RM age of 75, you have to be born in 1960 or later. Just keep that in mind. So it's not new MR, it's not 75 is new RMD right now. It's 75 if you're born in 1960 or later. So the answer is, should you take another look at traditional 401k? 100%, man. Absolutely. Yeah, right, exactly, Tina. Dry drunk still cling to the wrong mentality. I've spoken like someone who probably knows a couple. 100%. Yeah, that's exactly right, Joe. It's hard to forgive someone who doesn't apologize and show they understand what they did wrong. 100%. And take responsibility. Yeah, look at that. 80% of Russian men born in 1920 were killed in World War II. I think Russian men are white, but Hitler is for white men or white people, huh? Hitler is for the white guy. We stop with this nonsense. I think you took it out of context. Maybe I didn't explain myself. Of course, young women to help determine the future of, you're making it mutually exclusive. You're saying young men determine, thus young women have nothing to do with it. No. What I'm trying to say is when you kill off young men, you are determining the future of history. That's what's happening with less testosterone, less freaking manliness that needs to be leading society. Look, we can argue this all day long, but men lead society. Men lead the households. That doesn't mean women freaking, I get down before you. It doesn't mean that. If you were to think that my wife sits there and says, yes, you're freaking nuts. But when the men are dead or fighting off a stupid war, then inherently the woman have to take ownership. But guess what? Not all men are off fighting the war. There are some men left behind. And guess what? Some of those men are freaking assholes who then get to abuse the women left behind because men are bigger and stronger and more forceful and more violent. This is just a fact. So guess what happens then? Women need protection. Why do you think there's polygamy? Does it shock anybody that there's polygamy when you freaking have women? I say, I need protection. My kids need I need protection. I got kids to raise. I need protection. I need someone to help protect my children from these assholes, these men out there who are trying to do bad things. I mean, there's always men left behind who take over and do bad things. The good guys are the ones that volunteer to go fight the commies in Vietnam because they've been sold a fake bill of goods that, oh, we got to fight them over there. Just like we were told about the Muslims. We got to fight those Muslims over there. We got to fight those commies over there. Or else they're going to come over here and we'll all be speaking Chinese or whatever. And friggin', it's such a freaking lie. And they do that so we can kill off the young men, the young go-getter men, and then the ones left behind are freaking putzes. Yes, all they want to do is be the political entities of communism. No other way around that. And they get there because they're all losers. They're all freaking losers, dudes. You know, they never had a girlfriend, and now the only way, this is like the Democratic Party, part freaking in full throat, through full throttle, the Democratic Party, a bunch of freaking losers, a bunch of weak men. And they freaking say, I'm going to do, I got to get power. The only way to get power is through the barrel of a bullet, a gun. And how do I get that barrel of the gun on my side? I take political power. That's what the Democrats are. A bunch of freaking wimps. Got no testosterone, no gusto, but they know how to manipulate to take power. And then they use that power against people who are better men than them, 100%. I mean, look at the Democrats. Look at them. Biggest bunch of freaking fakers in the history of mankind, and yet they control everything. Look at Anderson Cooper and the media. I mean, look at these guys, dudes. Look at Sean Hannity, the same thing. Just weak men. Sean Hannity. I used to frame houses when I was 18 years old. I was like, dude, if you tell me that story one more time, I don't listen to Sean. I haven't listened to Sean Hannity in probably 10 years. But it's a weak man, weak guy. These guys are just weak. You see what I'm saying? And as such, we're led by weak men because the strong men have been lobotomized to freaking be dealing with porn and gaming and whatever, and then going off to war and stuff. But yeah, have a society with young women. There's still going to be some men, and those men are going to be brutal. And then we'll see what happens to that society with young women. They're going to be saying, man, I'll marry a guy if he's married to another guy, and another guy, another chick, because I need someone for protection. Come on, let's think this through, man. The idea that young women are going to control things, you're crazy. The men are going to control it because the men always do and the men always will. Because the men are inherently more violent, more go-getters. They got more testosterone. And that's good, and it can be bad. It's bad if the men left behind are the ones who are going to take over and crush the people who stand against them, because the good ones are sent to freaking Ho Chi Minh City. Yeah. Gulag Archipelago, Schultz and Iskin, 100%. Yeah. I did not wear my cheese hat. We were in a hotel room in Charlotte, North Carolina, watching Georgia, my man Stetson Bennett. Can't believe I was rooting for Georgia over Ohio State. The first time I ever rooted for the SEC over the Big Ten. I'd never done that. But I just like Georgia. I just like that Stetson Bennett. His story is fantastic. So I'm a big fan of Georgia. Ohio State can kiss my butt. Hey, we are where Crete was when Paul went. We are where Crete was when Paul went. That's where they got the word Cretans from. So I'm wondering, I don't get the context there. What Crete? I guess we're talking about. I'm just thinking Cretans were. I don't know. I'm not following that. I could think that through a little bit. I'm not quite following that though. When I was in the Philippines, the monkeys would climb. By the way, everyone says I'm going to retire to the Philippines. The Philippines capitulated. I was listening to a guy who lives in the Philippines. They said they all capitulated to the COVID insanity, as did the people in Taiwan. They all capitulated. We are the only game in town, my friends. I'm going to move to the Philippines. It's cheap living. You're not free. I'll have expensive living and freedom any day of the week. It's not that expensive. You got no debt, by the way. It's just not. Anyway, this guy just said, look, I've been in the Philippines. And like, yeah, I was in Taiwan. I live in Taiwan. And it's just freaking, they just all fell for it. Crazy. I was at 7-Eleven one morning. There's a young woman soldier buying a coffee and her protein bars and snacks for the day. I paid for it. Felt good to help someone's working. All right, 100%. Yeah, but but remember, I don't know. That's cool. I got no qualm with that. Yeah, that's good. I'm not gonna say anything. I just my distaste of the military right now is strong, if that makes sense. And I shouldn't say that because a lot of these guys and ladies who serve aren't the leadership, but the leadership just sucks. And it's just like right now, I'm just so antagonistic towards the military because it's run by clowns. But with that said, there's lots of good guys and ladies in there, just like there's lots of good guys and ladies in the FBI. And probably not the CIA. I'm just saying, just joking. There's probably some good guys and ladies in the CIA. I mean, lots of good people. With that said, it's just kind of like, man, the leadership really sours me on any of our governing authorities for sure. Cheesehead Pack is back. Matt says, would I put my money into 401k, taxable, brokerage, or Roth? I put all my money into a brokerage account. Yeah, 1%, man. Masculine women can handle it. Yep, exactly. I refrained from telling the soldiers she should stock up on food and drinks for the work at the grocery store and invest the difference. It wasn't easy. You should have. You should have said, let me get this for you. But let me tell you, man, this is if you keep doing this every day, you're not gonna have a retirement. You should have, Denise. She needs to hear that from somebody. My man Brandon Tatum got a shirt that says "Make Men Men Again." It's fantastic. I almost wore that to the Charlotte Hornets game, "Make Men Men Again," but I did. I just wore my Georgia shirt. The guy next to me said, "Ooh, Georgia's down 7-0." I said, no worries. Alabama was down 10-0, and I don't like Alabama. They swamped Kansas State, but then I looked, it's 21-7, and Georgia was down like with 3 minutes or something like that, like by 11. I was like, "Ooh." Yes, pregnancy, 100%, Ken. Yes, that's where we donate a lot of. Well, when I say a lot, but that's where the bulk of our donations go to pregnancy centers. Absolutely. Yep. It's not about vote getting; it's about vote harvesting. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, so aren't men, though, Denise. I mean, let's not. uh, young women and young men are both interested in frivolous things. 100%. Ooh, Denise, let me share with you guys someplace if you're interested in like homesteading and people being righteous, no pornography, no cussing, just people being righteous. Go to the Barataria Times right here. App is it going to show up here? Let me stop. There we go. App.Barataria Times, and you got. Anyways, it's all positive stuff. Like here's a right here. This is my first buckskin I've ever tanned. I used the brain tanning method, so I didn't have to use any chemicals, and I'm surprised it turned out as well as it did. I didn't do the best softening job, but there are spots that are unbelievably soft. The black bits are membrane. It just guys like and the ladies too. Oh wow, look at that. Look at that. That's freaking great. Here's Derry Bear. I just saw it. I share our Christmas card family portrait. Happy New Year. These guys. I mean, just so many. Saturday night. Happy New Year, Bears. Spent this New Year's Eve at home mixing, doing overdubs, and mastering this tune in my band. Saturday night, Gangster recorded. That's cool, man. 2023 has been good to us. Wife is due for our second on Friday, so we went back to Gettysburg. We found the inspiration for his name. Oh, dude. There's Happy New Year. We had fun with the cousins, and today's mom's birthday. Happy birthday, whatever. The Portuguese roast this week was awesome. Lots of laughing. It was just tons of people on here. There's Jennifer Ostin. We used a one on Fort Ord. That's your neck of the woods. I don't know, but it's Fort Ord, California, right? The buildings behind me are empty just for. Oh, there she is. So, who has one or might want to invest together the buildings in Fort Ord for advanced training area? Not sure what she's doing. Happy New Year. Looking forward to the snow in the year of the bear. Lots of snow there. Here's this lady. We got rabbits. Yay. She's got rabbits. Meat rabbits. So she's going to harvest rabbits to eat, which is pretty cool. But they're so cute. I was so gonna do it. And that's Strand Farm Bear. All right. Oh, anyway, on this thing is tons of pictures of new babies being born. Babies, not hungover bear. Some slight complication, unfortunately, another C-section, but baby and mom are alive and healthy. All glory to God, 100%. Everything, just so much stuff on here. Got the tile grouted, the knees braces back in, some repurposed metal roofing on the ceiling, hammerhead bear. Oh, yikes! Anyways, this is a happy. Just people on here just kicking ass and taking names. It's this is what I'm talking about. It's just optimism, positive stuff everywhere. Lots of people out there just doing great stuff. Anyway, going back to your thing, Denise, there's tons of guys on there, and they're not going to be breathing down your neck, but there's more men than women on there. A lot of homesteading guys, a lot of guys just, and that's that app. app.beartariatimes.com. app.beartariatimes.com. And it's just people just kicking butts. Oh, wait, I got to show this one picture. Do you like, oh, look at this. Oh, my goodness. This is NATO bear. The spirit animal picture is self-explanatory. Oh my goodness. Oh man, this guy's showing his family. They're crushing. Everybody's crushing. It's freaking. No one's having more fun. What's this guy doing? Gizzard living, once properly dried, will make some good medicine for someone at some point. When properly used, can combat poor digestion, frequent urination, dissolve stones, and other health challenges. God is a funny genius. Ain't that the truth? Gizzard. Ugh. Oh, another rabbit. Oh. Here's Cinnamon Bear. Got to listen to people with good gaps between their upper front teeth. They just know many blessings to the bear, no matter the time of day on any calendar. All right. Oh, Ontario Bears Fest. Anyway, so there's tons of different, I'm part of Georgia one, obviously. They got California, just all kinds of stuff. There's lots of good stuff out there. You just got to find them. You got to take the time to find them. And then you got to say, I'm not going to agree with everybody. That's okay. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to agree. Like my man Dougie B on here. He's like, Josh, I work for a company who helped design the lunar module. I don't think we land on the moon. I don't think so. I say, hey, go back and get the lunar module specs, can you? Because they can't, because we've been lost. And I was just goofing on him. But, Dougie B's still on here. It's okay. He thinks we did. I don't think we did. Does that mean I'm crazy? No. Does it mean he's crazy? No. Because we have a disagreement. Imagine that. People can disagree and still be friends. What? And you don't have to be crazy. That's another thing, too. Stop being so worried that people are going to call you crazy for things. It's nuts. We all say, well, I don't want to be called crazy because I don't care what you believe in. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't want to be called crazy because, I'm just trying to think what, because you think Tom Brady's a GOAT when we all know it's Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's obviously the GOAT. So if you think Tom Brady's a GOAT, well, that's crazy talk. And I'm trying to think of something in realistic terms. Like that'd be better. You think real estate's a better investment? I don't know. I actually think real estate's probably pretty good. So I shouldn't say that. You think that's what I'll say. You think stocks are the best investment for the next 5 years? And I probably agree with that, frankly. I don't know. You think the economy is going to crash? There you go. And I said, I don't think so. I'm not going to call you crazy. No one knows. It's okay. I don't know what else. I'm just trying to think. What you have a different opinion on than me that would make me think you crazy? I don't know what it'd be. When I was a roommate, my ran Adam when I was in college. They finally introduced a 2-point conversion to the NFL like they had in college. And I've been forever saying, why don't they just get rid of the extra point and just introduce a 2-point conversion? And Adam was like, nah, dude, that'd be stupid. I said, but it's boring. It's guaranteed. Why not make it more exciting? And he just literally, he thought you don't need change for change's sake. I said, but this would be a good thing. And I was like, dude, I can't believe you don't get. I literally couldn't believe it. He's like, no, you don't need to make a change. It's already good as it is. I said, but it could be better. Of course, I was right, but I literally couldn't believe he didn't get it. He's like, no, we don't need the 2-point conversion. The NFL is good as it is. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? It's crazy. And it's like same thing with a college football playoff. To the bane of my existence has been the lack of a playoff, which is why this year I was rooting for Georgia over Ohio State, because normally I root for the Big Ten over the SEC, because the SEC always gets 2 bids to the college football championship playoff. And that's bullcrap. But now that we're going to have a college football playoff in 2024, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? If the SEC is truly the best conference, then they will win as long as there's a full functioning playoff. And I don't think they will be. And then they can argue it's because of transfer protocol. I don't care anymore. I just want to have a fair shot at college football to teams to be able to play. Why should Ohio State have gotten chosen over USC when USC, they lost in the conference championship? And that's why they didn't get chosen. But Ohio State didn't even go to the conference championship. Ohio State should have never been in there. And the only reason I was rooting for Ohio State was because it would have been cool. TCU loses his conference championship. Ohio State didn't even go to their conference championship. That would have been cool if they both went, to show how stupid, to the NCAA football championship, to show how stupid the friggin' NCAA stupid playoff system is. But now going to 2024, it's irrelevant now. So because we got one more year, this insanity of the college football playoff is stupid, but at least it's only one more year. Thank the good Lord. Now what the NCAA needs to do is put the extra point on the 10-yard line. Let's make it a little bit more dramatic so Georgia doesn't have a chip shot to take a 1-point lead in the game. I mean, let's make the extra point like the NFL now. We saw Nick Folk from the Patriots say he's missed 3 extra points in 2 games. You didn't miss 3 extra points in a whole year just a couple years ago. Oh, no way. There are people wearing masks. Dude, I love I-bonds, 100%, Donna. I mean, I'm not saying what you should do. Why would you not? I don't get it. I think I-bonds crush. Man, I cannot believe there are people wearing masks in gyms. That's crazy to me. Yeah, Michigan host. All right. Anyway, so that's what I want to talk about. Well, I doubt you're who you are either, Pulverizer. You're probably some friggin', let's see, 5'2" Filipino woman. You know what I'm saying? Who probably could kick my butt, by the way. Yeah, right. Ooh, one of the 4 major banks will go down this year. Nothing wrong with that guy other than killing people. Don't kill people. All right. You guys look at it. Here's Carson. So if Hubble can see galaxies light years away, why can't they focus on footprints on the moon? Karsten, how dare you? If Hubble can see galaxies light years away, why can't they focus in on footprints on the moon? Or do they not exist, so why look? How dare you, Karsten? How dare you? It's like the James Webb Telescope. It was fun because a lot of people on my side of things who don't believe in evolution, who don't believe in the Big Bang, they think that. Whereas I'm reading this from the Institute for Creation Research, they think that James Webb disproves the Big Bang because Big Bang was this. What was it? The growing universe. Is that the big? I'm drawing a blank here. The Big Bang perpetuated this growing universe. I might be screwing that up, but whatever it is, I can't remember. There's an infinite universe and then there's expanding universe. And the James Webb, I'm sure it's the expanding universe. Just prove the expanding universe is what the ICR says. I actually, I subscribe to a lot of the ICR ideas. Not sure I'm a young Earth creationist. I'm not sure I'm there. Actually, I'm not. I think there are other so very sophisticated societies well before ours. I believe that. And I haven't really done that much on that. It doesn't bore me, but it's not my biggest thing right now. My biggest thing right now is I'm reading this book on Einstein. I just bought another one too that talks. And so anyway, I've been going down this rabbit hole on Einstein and just the relativity and stuff for months now. It's just fun. And now my daughter had another book on Einstein, the other Einstein, talking about his wife, how he basically stole her ideas. It was fun. The whole thing with the whole Einstein story is a setup from the beginning. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. It's almost like Elon Musk. He says when he sent his Tesla or whatever the hell it was into space, it looks so fake it has to be true. With Einstein, it's so fake it has to be fake, because you're like, dude, this is nuts. I'm telling you, it's anyway. So another guy had written a book on the. I don't want to say too much because it'll get me banned off YouTube. Let's put it this way: there is a big conspiracy to promote a certain tribe, if we will, and Einstein just had to fit the bill, if that makes sense. So Planck and Max Born, interesting. So Planck isn't, but Max Born was, and a lot of the other guys were, and as such, they had to. And then it's almost like Hitler was part and part of the script. It's dude, it's amazing when you start to see the pieces fall together. You're like, it's almost like Hitler was like, and this doesn't mean it's in on it. I don't know if there's some guy up there saying, "Hey," I just think there's some kind of download that goes into. I don't know how it works. Thankfully, but it just is like something happened that said we've got to make this guy so evil in the eyes of the world that to say anything about people on the other side will make you Robert Kraft not happy with you, if that makes sense. So to critique Einstein makes you someone that Robert Kraft would not be happy with. I hope you get where I'm saying there. And you're like, but it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fakeness of his quote findings, and either he plagiarized them or they don't make sense. Either way, I don't care. But it has nothing to do with that. What Robert Kraft Foundation would say we're hateful of, but that's what they did. And to criticize started in 1922. There's actually dialogues that say we are going to say these people are this, and then all of a sudden Hitler comes out of nowhere. You're like, it's almost, you're like, what? This is crazy. It's crazy. And you're like, and so then when Hitler gets removed, it's the people who were before that, now they took over power in Germany and all the Western thing, and you're like, now is like to say anything negative makes you back. It's crazy, man. You're like, holy crap. And it's nuts because they started setting. So I'm telling you, it's like Copernicus to freaking Newton to Darwin to Einstein, and you can see this gradual thing moving further and further away from God. Now it's Lawrence Krauss and all these clowns, Stephen Hawking, Doc. I mean, just silly people. But anyway, it's interesting, and you're like, because it takes you further and further and further away from the good, true, and the beautiful. Because we all know Newton, he believed in God, and you can see some of his quotes. He's like, don't ever attribute this to crap to me when it comes to gravitational pull and all that. He's like, don't attribute that to me. Copernicus, all these guys, it's weird, man. And it starts slowly moving. And it's multi-century. It's crazy. And you're like, man. And everyone said, well, it's just science. No, it's not just science. It's not just, don't tell me that crap. Don't tell me that crap. Because if it was science, they would never have banned people in 1922, the scientists who challenged special relativity. They would have said the Eddington experiment in 1919 had a lot of holes you could drive a freaking truck through. And that supposedly proved general relativity, the Eddington experiment. And it didn't. It had holes a mile wide. But from 1919 is when Einstein started getting international fame, acclaim. How? Oh, who was it? It was freaking Bertrand Russell. Weird. Started promoting Einstein in Japan. So Einstein gives a speech in Kyoto. Around the same time, the scientist group met in Leipzig, or whatever the hell town that is. And they said where they started a plan to take power in scientific physics departments and whatnot. And they said, if you don't believe in Einsteinian relativity, you are not welcome, and we're going to ban you. And scientists wrote a letter saying, wait, we what? We want to be, the science, open inquiry. Not anymore. And slowly but surely, generation after generation, the relativitist took over. No different than what happened in economics departments. No different than what happened in health science departments under Ansel Keys. I tell you, it's the same thing over and over. And it's going to happen in biology departments with the 57 flavors. It's the same thing. And if you challenge it, you have no job. You get no research funding. You'll never get hired to begin with. And the same happened in physics, happened in economics, happened in health science. It's going to happen in biology. It's probably happening right now. It's nuts. Yeah, I like I'm a big fan of James Corbett, 100%. Anyway, it's crazy. And you're starting to say, wait a second. And I think for me, it goes back to Einstein, because everyone his mom thinks special relativity is freaking sacrosanct. And it's not. And then general relativity is silly, but yet we all pretend like it is. And if it's not, then what are we doing? Well, we're doing it because we've been told to do it. Well, okay, again, going back, if they can lie about a certain thing that happened since 2020 and we all just follow suit, they can certainly lie about these other things and we all just follow suit. Then you start saying, wait, once it starts cracking, the whole thing collapses, like World Trade Center 7. Just on its own, just fell. It's amazing. Lucky Larry Silverstein. And then you see it, man. It's good. It's all good. Because then you can say, I don't need to be distracted anymore. Nothing I can do about it. I got a life to live. And I'm very comfortable with that. But I don't care. I literally don't care. And that's, again, going back to 2023. You call me what you want. I don't care. I mean, I've never pulled punch into this channel. I never will. It's funny, though, 5 years ago when I started this channel, and I challenged the MMR, DPT, the various jabbies. I challenged those. I did it kind of like, because, I just started out. And I had gotten a lot of fights, debates. Vitriol was sent to me like you wouldn't believe, because I said, I wonder if this stuff is as safe as what they say, because there has never been a test where it combined all these things together. Now, you could say this in of itself, and I'm careful what I got to say. I'll delete this from YouTube. This measles is okay in of itself, but when you combine MMR plus DPT plus all these other shots, are they okay by themselves? It's kind of like combining mercury and aluminum. Mercury in of itself may or may not be good. I don't know. Aluminum in of itself may or may not be good. I don't know. But you combine them, they're certainly not good. Anyway, the point being is this is what us which I've come to proudly hold on to, I said it's weird that no one's ever thought to do a study on this. And the reason they haven't done a study, we're told, is because that would put the health of children at stake. This is well before 2020. I remember I said something about that. So I just find it odd that no one's ever said we should do a study to see the validity of this. And of course, all the people, how dare you challenge science? But there was somebody on here right there. That's why Jill will always be near and dear to my heart. I'll never forget, probably one of my first live streams ever. Jill said, I'll never forget Jill saying, that's why Jill always has a place in my heart. Thank you for your Christmas card. Because Jill was right there. Oh, how dare you? How dare you? If Einstein was a fraud, what accomplishments does he have, if any? Well, he won the Nobel Prize, but they had to give him a Nobel Prize because it's a saying that the most accomplished physicists had no Nobel Prize until 1921 or something like that, when even that is suspect on where he got the information from. But they had to give it to him. They could not have Einstein. I can't remember. Refrigeration has something to do with refrigeration when he won the Nobel Prize. And don't quote me on this, but I know it had something to do with that. Anyway, was that Einsteinian? No, of course not. I mean, look, man, it's just a friggin' look. Einstein was a tutor for ragamuffin kids, and he was writing articles in the most prestigious science journal in Germany. I mean, come on. No one knew anything about Einstein at all. From 1900 to 1905, he was writing these letters. And out of a sudden, out of nowhere, Max Planck, who was studying relativity, said he got word from a guy in Poland who happened to be a part of the same thing, who got word from Max Born, who got word to Planck, who was well esteemed, and they said, "Hey, we should promote this Einstein guy." But it wasn't until 1919 in the Eddington. So he didn't win a Nobel Prize. It was only after he got his international acclaim from the Eddington experiment by the Royal Astronomical Society in Britain, which is, I'm not going to say fraudulent, but it didn't do what they said. And after that, that proved general relativity. It did. It did. It's still stupid. Anyway, long story short, that is what led to Einstein's fame and fortune. And how can we have this guy be so fabulous with all these papers he has written, but he doesn't have a Nobel Prize? So we can't really give him a real Nobel Prize in physics because we just can't. We'll give a Nobel Prize in refrigeration, whatever it was. And that's how it happened. And after that, he didn't write it. He was done. He just lived off his fame and fortune after that. Now, he did marry his cousin, and he did try to hook up with his cousin's daughter. Nothing weird there. He did write journals about going to other countries and was very racist about people. Nothing weird there. But E equals MC squared. A is not from him, by the way, just as an FYI. But B, Einstein equals married cousin twice. Einstein married his cousin. And as he was very hot to trot with his cousin's daughter. Is either his cousin was Elsa or his cousin's daughter was Isla. But there's Elsa and Isla, and I can't remember which one's which off the top of my head. But Einstein was like, "Ooh, man, Isla. Hey, come on, baby. Equals MC squared. Einstein equals married cousin twice." Yeah. I was always fascinated. What is ignored? What becomes news? Young people are falling over dead from we know what. But let's see. What does he say? Yeah, 100%, Josh. I mean, it's. Oh yeah. So typist. I'm sorry, I missed you, man. Yes, I do plan on stream. So it's not gonna be Sunday nights. All right. So good. That's a good question. I haven't. So it will end up here. I stream every 4 p.m. Eastern time on Locals for folks who are part of my Locals community. So sign up. Again, I'm going to delete this off YouTube, but it'll be in the Doobly Duke on every video I do. And I do live streams on noon on Wednesday, every Wednesday at noon Eastern time here. And by the way, this Wednesday is going to be crushing because I got David Blanchett I got interview. And then I do live stream, and I'm not sure. I think I might do a Saturday live stream. I mean, I don't go out partying on Saturday, so I just might do a Saturday night instead of Sunday. Maybe I'll do a Monday. So if you guys got preference, just let me know. Maybe I'll do a survey on my YouTube channel, live streams on Saturday night or live streams on Sunday or Monday nights. But anyway, so I'll do. But absolutely. So I absolutely still plan on doing night live stream. Just won't be Sunday night. Elsa, yeah, okay. So Elsa was a second wife, cousin of Albert. Is Isla, I-S-L-E or I-L or I-E-L-S-E. I can't remember. That was Elsa's daughter. All right, and old Al had the hots for Elsa's daughter. Kind of crazy. Nights are 100%. I nights are good too, Mark. I get it. The question is it better on Mondays or Saturdays? So I don't know. We'll put a survey out and see what you guys want. I know what you're asking me, Patricia Lopez. You're asking me stock investments farm. Then you say talk about electric vehicle plug-in and adoption child foreign. I don't even know what you're trying to say. Come on, what does that mean? Talk about electric vehicle plug-in and adoption child foreign. And don't be rude. I thought this was about wealth. Don't be here. Gosh, just leave. It's okay. Like someone said, some guy said, you talked about, I said something bad about Fauci. You said something bad about Fauci. I'm unsubscribing. And some guy said, this isn't an airport. You don't need to announce your departure. That was fantastic. I love that, man. This isn't an airport. You don't need to announce your departure. Patricia, this isn't an I think Patricia's a bot. Patricia, this isn't an airport. You don't need to announce your departure. Just leave. It's okay. I've already done my predictions for the market in 2023. I already did it. Not going to do it again here. And someone said, "What are my New Year's goals?" I already talked about them here. So you're late, Crayon Man. So don't be late. Don't be late, and then you can figure out my goals are. All right, and get out of here, my friends. God bless. And again, last Sunday live stream, we're going to keep the commandments the best we can. We can't keep them all. God does forgive. Get on your hands and knees and ask for forgiveness, and we'll say a quick prayer. If that's okay, Patricia, because God is where wealth is. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for allowing us for another calendar year in your realm. And we just pray for the guidance for 2023. Give us the strength to recognize within our heart what we can control and just minimize in our heart the things we can't. We just turn to you for guidance for everything, God. Please, please, please help us to continue to do that throughout this calendar year. Without you, nothing matters. You are everything. You are the only thing. And we just bow down before you and ask for your patience, your forgiveness, and your guidance, because, Lord, we need it for sure. But can we be grateful, too, at the same time, and just recognize we are all blessed, each and every one of us, and recognize that in each of our fellow man, we are all made in your image. And give us the strength not to look down on people because they see things differently than we do. And we pray in Jesus' name, amen. I think it's important to remember that, look, I'm the biggest violator of this. As much as I despise Fauci, he is a man made in God's image. Jesus died for him. As much as I despise commies, Jesus died for them. And I just got to remember that, man, because God is good always. And without God, it's nothing matters. I mean, even Paul said that. I mean, Paul said, if the resurrection had happened, it's all for naught. And again, I'm starting to have some questions on Paul, but he said some wise stuff. Paul did, you know what I'm saying? And that's one of them. Without the resurrection, it doesn't matter. And I mean, as a Christian, you have to believe this. You have to believe that Jesus rose from the dead, and over 500 people saw him. 500 people. Testimonies. There's so much literature on this of Jesus's life. Now you can question Jesus, did he live? Then you have to question everything in history, everything. And you can do that. But don't just question Jesus and turn around and say Julius Caesar was alive or Pontius Pilate. You can't do that. If you're going to question Jesus, you have to question, you got to basically say history in of itself is non-existence, or it can't be, it's just okay, that's fine. But if we know for a fact that Jesus lived, if we know that, and yes, I do. Can I prove it? No, you can't prove it. Hell, can I prove Napoleon lived? No. All right, so we know Jesus lived. Then we know he died. So the only thing that comes to be is, did he rise from the dead? That's it. If he rose from the dead, then I think we have something pretty extraordinary here. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he didn't rise from the dead, all right, and you're not of the Christian faith, then okay, you can still believe in a God in the Abrahamic Bible, be it a Muslim or a Jew. And your way of life should be determined by how God tells you how to live. That's for us, though, for Christians. We have to believe that Jesus rose from the dead, or else we're not Christian. But Jesus was a good moral man. No, that's not Christian. That's not Christian. Christian is Jesus rose from the dead. If he rose from the dead, I mean, what more do we need? It's, in my opinion, just need to say, man, God, Jesus called it. God, you talked to Jesus and he called it. And as such, I better get on my horse and start, doing what I can to live a better life. Knowing my works won't get me to heaven, but my works and my faith, if I do it well, hopefully God will open the pearly gates for eternal life with him. What more could you ask for? All right, I can get out of here. See you guys. Thanks again.